Kidding? Just one shot?
They're not all zombies, Doug. How do you fight this thing?
Maybe we could drown it in A1 sauce.
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get there.
Ooh, I love this song. I'm hung up in a grave situation.
And now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Hello and welcome to episode 244 of the Rotten Views podcast. Thank you everyone for showing up to another new episode of the podcast. If you're a first time listener, I appreciate you jumping on the bandwagon, hopefully at this point in time. And hopefully you'll check out the old catalog of other episodes. We have a lot of fun ones. So hopefully you'll stick around. If you're a returning listener, thank you each and every week for showing up for another new episode. I appreciate you guys so much. We have another, hopefully, fun movie for you guys today. It's a first time watch, so upon doing this intro, I don't know a single thing about this movie. So that's what's going to make it pretty interesting, because I'm going into it blind. I watched the trailer quickly last week upon picking it, but that's about it. And this movie also has two different names for whatever reason. You can find it on Tubi as Mr. Galactic, but the title I originally looked it up and found it as was Galactic Gigolo. I think like someone in the previous episode worked on this movie or had something to do with this movie. That's how I found out about this movie, but I could be wrong. I think that's what it was though. But before we do get into that too much, let's do a little bit of housekeeping like we like to do each and every single week.
Housekeeping?
Don't think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
You come back in an hour.
Housekeeping, you want towel?
More towels. Need sleepy.
Housekeeping, you want mint for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
If you guys are listening on Spotify, feel free to leave a star rating. It doesn't have to be a 5-star, but I appreciate it. If it is a 5-star, it means a lot. It can be a 3-star, 4-star, whatever it might be. Even those hideous 1-stars, it's fine too. I'll get that voodoo kid eventually, and I'll put a curse on you for doing it. But that's besides the point. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. So if you get like a pain in your head, or maybe your wrist or something like that, that might be the voodoo doll working its magic. I wouldn't personally know, but I'm sure Amazon or Wish or Temu sells a pretty good like voodoo kit, like probably like one of those books that like voodoo kits for dummies. That's probably something I would need. I'm sure it's probably a thing out there. If not, maybe I'll make it. You know, it could be funny. Probably not though. Probably not going to happen because I have so many other projects in mind that I want to do that I just keep postponing because there's not enough time in the day. But with that being said, if you're also listening on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it might be, Castbox, whatever your preferred podcast listening app, make sure to hit that share button. That share button does help out a lot. It helps get the podcast out to more listeners. And at the end of the day, that's what we're just trying to reach. We're trying to reach a bigger community of people who enjoy the podcast, who want to, form a nice community of horror fans, movie fans in general, comedy fans, whatever it might be. We've been branching out the podcast a little bit more here and there, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But if you want more free content, feel free to follow me on all social media accounts. All the links are down below in the description, but you can find me on all social media accounts at Typhonstein. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Threads, Blue Sky now. There's too many social media things to follow. Discord, we're on Discord as well. So there's a lot of it. But the main thing you can check us out on, aside from like the Instagram and the Facebook page, definitely go check out the YouTube channel, where we have the weekly game video that drops every single Wednesday. I have various short videos over there as well. I have the I have old episodes of the podcast, I should say. I've been dropping an old episode of the podcast in kind of video format on there every single Monday. And we also do live streams over there as well. Been live streaming almost every single night for 2 to 3 hours a night. So it's a lot of free content, so definitely go check it out. Been playing various games like Gas Station Simulator, GTA Online, Dying Light 2, Fortnite, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I think there's a little bit for everyone. So hopefully you guys will go check it out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified every single time we post a new video or we go live a live stream. And I think that's enough of the housekeeping for right now at this point in time. I don't think there's really too much else to talk about. It's been pretty straightforward and just been doing a lot of artwork, a lot of editing, and a lot of other podcast episode related stuff. So hopefully it all works out in the end. I've been putting a lot of effort into everything, so I'm hoping that, it all works out and keeps going in the positive side of things and not the negative side of things. So now with all that being said, let's talk about the movie at hand today. Like I said earlier, you can watch it for free on Tubi. So definitely go check it out. On Tubi, it's Mr. Galactic. We also know it as Galactic Gigolo. I don't know why the name changed. Maybe they didn't like Gigolo. Who knows? Not really too sure. But it's from 1987. It's a comedy sci-fi movie for a runtime of an hour and 20 minutes. It's got 3.4 out of 10 on IMDb and a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. 41% of Google users have enjoyed this movie. Initial release date was October 1st, 1987. The description as read from IMDb. I'm going to butcher this first name. The main character name is Eoj. I don't know. It's something like that. Anyways, he's an alien who won a game show, and the grand prize is a trip to Earth to have sex with as many Earth women as he can. Hidley is a reporter who is writing a biography on Eoj's adventures. It's a weird premise for a movie, but maybe it'll be fun. Who knows? So we're going to just jump right to the part where we talk about the cast, we talk about the director, talk about the writers. We got a couple people who are doing double duties, like the director, Gorman Bechard, who's also one of the writers. He's also known for being the director for 2009, Friends with Benefits. He was the director for 2005's You Are Alone, as well as the director for 1987's Psychos in Love. I know none of those movies at all, and I don't even know if the Friends with Benefits, I've heard that title before, but I think that's a different movie than the other Friends with Benefits that I know about. I don't feel like that's the same movie. I don't know. It could be. Who knows? Then we're going to cut to the other writer for this one, which is Carmen Bianco. I butchered that last name. I know I did for a fact. I'm really good at doing that, and I'm going to keep being good at that. But they're also one of these stars for the movie. They are playing our lead in this. They're playing the alien. They're also in a movie called Beach Casket Bingo, where they play Pastor Johnson, but doesn't have a year. So I don't know if that thing's like coming out. But he's also Joe in 1987's Psychos in Love, as well as he's Steve the bartender in 2006, A New Wave. I don't know any of those movies at all, so I'm not really too worried about them. The next cast member we're going to talk about is what I believe is our other lead, Debbie Thibault, who's playing Hidley. I love butchering names. I'm really good at it. What can I say? In 1988, she was in a movie called Death Collector, where she just plays a character called Actress. She was also in 1987's Psychos in Love, where she plays the character Kate. As well, in 1988, she plays a character named Kate in a movie called Cemetery High. I don't know any of those. Death Collector sounds fun. Really, I mean, the title is there. I don't know anything about it. Could suck for all I know. This movie could suck for all I know. I know nothing about it, so we're going to just watch it blind. I don't think I'm going to talk about any of the other characters or actors in the movie, because I just don't think they're going to be that important, to be honest with you. This movie does have a tagline, though, and the tagline is read as an extraterrestrial sexual comedy. That's stupid. It doesn't tell you really it's not fun, it's not witty, it's nothing. It's just straightforward and boring. But, what do we really expect? We're not really expecting much, to be honest with you, at this point in time. I pick movies blind because I think they're going to be fun. Sometimes it bites me in the ass. I'm hoping this one doesn't bite me in the ass. The last one really took a good chunk out of my ass because it sucked. I was trying to be really, really nice with it because of the costume design, but it wasn't a good movie by any means. So hopefully this one is a little bit better than the last one. But then again, I'm not going to hold my breath on that at all. So with that being said, we're going to get started on the movie at hand. This is going to be your final warning. I talk about the movies on each episode from start to finish and hit all the points in between that interest me. So it is going to be a spoiler-heavy episode, just like all the other episodes. So feel free to pause it now, go watch it on YouTube, and then come back and check out the podcast. Or just sit back, relax, listen to me talk about the movie at hand. And I'll either make you want to watch it, or you'll be well aware to just avoid it. I leave that call up to you at the end of this episode, and hopefully you guys stick around to the end. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you everyone for coming to a new episode. So if you're at home, sit back, relax, get some candies, get some snacks, get whatever it might be. You know, if you're listening to it in bed to fall asleep, good on you. Don't know how that works for you, but good on you. If you're at work, hopefully this helps you get through the day. And if you're listening in the car, like I know a lot of you guys are, please keep your eyes on the road. Get to where you're going, safe and sound. You know, I know you might want to hit Susan or Karen on the side of the road for extra points, but don't do it. Just keep your eyes on the road. Get to where you're going so everyone's happy, healthy, and safe, and all that other fun stuff. And we're going to get started on the podcast episode right now because it's like 11 o'clock at night and I haven't even had a single thing of coffee yet. I'm getting a little bit tired, to be honest with you.
Presents Saturday Night at the Movies, the television series which each week brings you the finest in recent motion pictures. Tonight,
there have been strange sightings in the town of Prospect, Connecticut. Local residents report that they have seen an alien life form in the surrounding woods.
Let's get him!
Some citizens claim to have met the spaceman in person.
Oh my God, Eon!
If you're Lisa, and you're Lucy, and you're Lori, then I must be the extraterrestrial.
You have an extra testicle?
Talk about your close encounters.
That is the spaceman. Shit.
What can this man from another world possibly want on Earth?
Look, I won this trip on a game show. Earth's got a good rep in space. What can I tell you?
A good rep?
Yeah, you know, the best-looking women, the smoothest bourbon.
So basically you're just a party animal from outer space.
Well, more of a party vegetable. And I've come to your planet to partake in matters of a sexual nature with the females of your species.
Oh, come on in.
Here, hold this.
What you want me to do with this?
Everyone is trying to discover the secret of the alien's irresistible appeal to women. He's just a warm-blooded vegetable looking for hot tomatoes. Galactic Gigolo.
Alright, so this movie just starts out with this game show host who's dressed up as a freaking carrot for whatever reason. We don't even know. We don't even see the intro credits or anything happening yet. It's just literally this guy at a game show dressed as a carrot who's asking some questions because why not? And he's asking the question to a guy who's dressed as what's supposed to be broccoli, but on my screen it's blue and not green, so I'm not really sure what's going on. And then it cuts to the audience, which is all just like little cutout shapes and stuff and not actual people. And then the announcer's like, you just won a 2-week trip to Prospect, Connecticut, the horniest spot in America on planet Earth. And the broccoli guy's like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. And then the judge guy is showing off different people that he can disguise as. And one of them is Elvis, but he decides to be the lovable sleazeboyd. And now we find out the proper way to pronounce the main character's name is Eoj. And then the intro credits finally start rolling in, and the music starts playing. It's kind of fun, little wacky music, but it really has my hopes not set high for this movie the way it looks so far, because I think it's going to be kind of weird and probably stupid, but, you know, it is what it is. It's a Rotten Views podcast, and we always set ourselves up for failure. Not really. We've done a lot of good movies. This one's probably going to be hopefully decent, but we don't know yet. We got to wait till the end to see how we like it or not. So then we see Eoj finally showing up on Earth, and of course he's in that typical 80s space alien suit attire. Everything's got to be silver, but it also kind of looks like an Elvis outfit at the same time, to be honest with you. But then he's also got these weird goggles on, and he's kind of like fixing himself the whole time for like longer than he needs to be fixing his attire. It's like, just come on, just get going. But the whole time he's walking through the woods, he's got to walk through a stream. There's this really annoying, what's supposed to be an alien suspense style music playing. It could be a little bit quieter on my end, because it was actually driving my ears crazy. Then we see 4 rednecks in the woods, and they got shovels, and they're digging something up, and they're calling it prime shit, and I don't know what they're actually talking about. And then the Elodge, or whatever his name is, Eoj, whatever his name is, he walks by, and the big redneck guy's like, ah, shit, and then he keeps running, because now the redneck guys are chasing after him, just saying shit. And then he runs back the other way. And it's just the comedic scene now, them running back and forth on TV screen at the same time. I don't know why. I guess because it's private property, maybe? And then the rednecks are like, ah, shit, where'd he go? We lost him somehow in this open woods. Even though there's one piece of branch that's literally above all their heads, and he's just sitting on that branch, and they don't see him at all. So they just walk off screen just saying shit all over the time. Like, shit. I wonder how many times I say shit in this movie in the first 5 minutes. And then we just see Hodge walking down the road, and he sees the prospect sign, and he points up at it and stares at the camera like someone's recording him the whole goddamn time. And he starts clapping, like, haha, yeah, fun time. And then he's literally staying outside this house, and he's on the lower level of the balcony. He's trying to reach his hands through the banister railings, but can't. So then he walks up to the front door, and a lady answers the door. She's like, can I help you? And he just literally just says, I'm here to have sex with a bunch of females. And Natalie comes up the door being like, who is he? And he's like, he's Eoj. He's from this weird planet, and he's got a very sexual nature and wants to have sex with everyone. And they act like it's no big deal. To the point where the second lady's like, all right, come on inside. So we meet the 2 girls. One's Kelly, and the other one's named Mike. And he looks at her weird, being like, Mike? Like, yeah, my dad wanted a boy. He's like, mine didn't. And then they're like, can we offer you something to drink? He's like, yeah, it's some water, be bitchin'. He's like, okay. And then both ladies just start stripping down, being like, no, we've never done it with an alien before, but which one you want to go first, or you want both of them at the same time? He just starts gulping the water back, being like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing right now, to be honest with you. And now it's nighttime and he's leaving, and they're like, wow, that was amazing, please come again. He's like, I don't think I can, to be honest with you. I gotta remember that 2 lefts and then a right first. That's a good move. And then we just cut to him in a pool or something, maybe a hot tub, with 3 other ladies, and they're all drinking and getting drunk, and he calls himself the extraterrestrial, and the lady's like, wait, you got an extra testicle? And then we see him at the head of a news broadcast where reporters are asking him questions. And he's like, for my planet, we're all, vegetables, and I'm a broccoli. I'm personally a broccoli. And, I'm just taking a human form down here while I'm on Earth to, have fun with as many females as possible. And then we cut to a room where there's some maybe mafia-style guy, and there's a dorky guy being like, hey, boss, there's some alien guy on TV. He's talking about doing everything with all the women. And the nerdy guy starts comparing Eoj to the dwarf pig from space, because apparently that's a comic book that he's reading at this point in time. And I don't know where this movie's going. It feels like it's worse than a trauma movie at this point in time. And trauma movies are bad, but they're good bad. This one might just be bad. And then in this mafia room, they had this one blonde girl who's watching the TV broadcast of Eoj, and she's like, he can make me a vegetarian any day. It's like, what is going on in this damn movie? Then we see the redneck people who are also Jewish, and one redneck lady is getting pissed off because Billy Job Goldberg doesn't have his yarmulke on, and then there's this other Amish guy that's just sitting in a rocking chair. Well, the big redneck guy has his shotgun to his ear, like he's trying to listen in on it, and I have no idea what's going on. And then the redneck people are watching the TV broadcast as well, and I'm not going to say what the one redneck said called Eoj, because I'm assuming this is the reason why they were chasing him in the woods, and it wasn't because of trespassing. They call him the F word. I'm not saying that on the podcast because I don't want to be canceled. But I'm assuming that's why they're chasing him, because he was in the silver jumpsuit. Not really too sure, though. And then the big guy's like, he's not a alien, he's a commie. Or, if he ain't a commie, my name ain't Sammy Harry Goldberg. And then that redneck guy's like, it ain't, though. And the big guy's like, wait, it ain't? What's my name then? And during the press conference, Eoj is just like, you know what? My alien form is so much more high intelligent than you guys. I can change myself into anything I want, except for President Reagan. I can't get the hair right. And the press guy's like, anything? You can change yourself into a cat and dog you want to? And they just change us into a cat. And then all the redneck people are just like, whoa, he changes himself. Wow. And then the music starts slowing down, gets a little bit more spooky and horror style. And then the rednecks just start staring at each other, being like, oh, what are we up against now? Then the nerdy guy is like, hey, boss, to the mafia guy, you need to look at the TV. Look at the TV, man. It's not Jabba. You got to take an actual look at it. So the mafia guy looks over and he's like, so what the big fucking deal? It's a fucking kid cat on TV. He's like, but boss, that's the alien guy. And then it just zooms in on their face being like all shocked and shit. Of course, we find out that the mafia's boss name is Sonny. Of course it's Sonny, because why would it be anything else? Anyways, the henchmen people are like, Sonny, I say something, do something. Why does your face still look like you're shot? Sonny, come on, boss, snap out. Come on, do something. Say something to me. So then the Sonny guy goes to backhand the one guy. He's like, I ain't no comatose. Quit the Jabba. And then the one lady that's with the mafia guy's like, oh, maybe it's your mama's ravioli. Maybe she's upset in your tummy. And then the other guy's like, oh, no, I just think the boss was thinking. He kind of fried his brain a little bit. It's so stupid, but I don't know what else to say. So then one of the news reporters is like, it's kind of weird that you think everyone in this town's going to just want to have sex with you. He's like, no, they just obviously want to have sex with me. She's like, well, what are you going to do when one of them says no? He's like, what do you mean? That's impossible. They can't say no to me. So then they use the R word, and the redneck lady and the mafia lady's like, they ain't gonna have to do that with me. I'm definitely willing. So then Gigolo has to show his magic touch on the female news reporters, and he just does this weird ass dance, and this music starts to play, and they start to undress themselves for him. And all the other news reporters are happy and excited in the room because they're like taking pictures of the female reporter as she's starting to undress herself, being like, oh yeah, this is a great show. And then he stops the trance and the news reporter snaps back to her normal self, and she starts having a freak out panic attack because she's somehow in just her lingerie that she had on underneath her reporter outfit the whole time, and she just books it out of the room. We have the mafia group of people being like, oh, let's get him because he's perfect. And then the redneck group of people are like, oh, let's get him and kill him. And it's looking at each redneck's face. And then once we get to the big guy, we just hear a cow moo for whatever reason. And then we have reporter Hidley, who's like, hey, what about all the other women in the world? He's like, well, what about them? I'm just here to do the ones in Prospect. He's like, well, what about if you write a book? That way all the women can experience the joy of you. And then they start joking in this little Pinto car, being like, hey, maybe if the book's really popular, then maybe they'll even make it into a TV movie. And Yosh is like, oh yeah, maybe they will. I probably won't though. Yeah, they will. So now it's nighttime, and Eosh is calling back home, and he's got Hidley beside him, and I don't know who the other guy is since night reporter. But apparently once he calls home, he stops speaking English altogether, and they speak a weird language. Even though when he was at Broccoli, playing the game show with the carrot, they were speaking English. So I'm not really too sure what the hell's going on now. Alright, so then we see the secondary character reporter guy is Waldo, and he's Hidley's like secondary, and apparently they're outside a room while Eoj is having sex with somebody, and he really wants to go home because he's tired of this. And Hidley's like, how about we get a couple of pictures of them together? So then Waldo's playing like a porno photographer, taking a bunch of pictures, even though they're both fully dressed, but he's like making all the moves and the gestures and shit. And then Hidley starts asking the lady some questions, like, if she'd like the experience and whatnot, and she's like, oh, he's just too much for one woman to take, but I'll play hide the sausage with him any day. And then we see Hidley talking to Waldo, and she's like, so just walk over and, snap a couple pictures. And Waldo's like, while they're doing it? She's like, yeah, while they're doing it. They won't even notice you're there. He's like, no, I can't do that. I'm too nervous. I can't do that. And she's just like, just go, take the shots already. Just take the shots. So he just turns sideways and takes a shot and doesn't even move out of the spot that he was actually sitting, because apparently they're just on the couch beside him. This movie's stupid. I got nothing else to say about it. I was hoping for more comedic things. It's just kind of, a cheesy movie to show some boobs here and there. And then we see the rednecks fighting over the radio because each one wants to play Colonel Sanders. And he's like, it's my radio. I'm going to play Colonel Sanders. They're just arguing over the radio, and I have no idea why. Alright, so then we cut to this TV show where they're getting ready to talk to Eoj, and we have Dr. Ruth Pepper talking to this TV host about Eoj. Anyways, we cut to the audience who's clapping. It's all females. But they're not actually females, because you can clearly tell that everyone in this audience is actually a guy with a bunch of makeup on, with a bunch of wigs and other attires on. And apparently they couldn't find one actual female to be in this movie other than the odd couple that are having it down with Eoj. Or maybe they did it on purpose. They're trying to be funny, but they're failing horribly, to be honest with you. And then Dr. Roof is telling the reporter, or the TV host, that on Eoj's planet, there's no sexual female body parts on his planet at all. And the rednecks are watching this at the same time. And they're, oh wow, there's no kitty cats on his planet? Wow, that sucks. So then we see Sonny and the Mafia guys. Two of them are in the car. Sonny and one of the other guys is outside the car. And he's looking at a map. He's like, I think we're lost because, it said, welcome to New York State. And I don't think Prospect is in New York State. So I think we might have made a wrong turn somewhere along the lines. And I'm not really sure, boss. Can you stop yelling at me, though, boss? And then we see them all in a dance club somewhere, and it's Hidley and Eoj and Waldo and a couple girls. And Hidley's like, so when was the last person from your planet actually here on Earth? And he's like, oh, it's been a little while, but I'm pretty sure you guys called him Elvis Presley. So they're like, oh, Elvis was an alien? He's like, yeah, he's like one of my cousins. And Eoj is like, so we're only allowed to visit for 2 weeks at a time on Earth, and Elvis just wouldn't leave, so he lost the ability to actually transform and into different shapes and, the powers that we have. So we finally had to take him back, just that way he could be able to, get his powers back in general. And then we find out the newest lady that's been with Eoj, she just showed up to Prospect not too long ago because she found out about Eoj in the paper, and she came all the way from Australia, apparently, just to have an experience with him. Then we see Waldo taking a ton of different pictures, and it's actually getting on Eoj and Hidley's nerves. He's like, I'm just taking a bunch of pictures for the book that we're going to put out. Because, we're going to make a nice big picture book of this whole experience that's happening. And Eoj literally sits down with the next lady. This isn't the Australian lady anymore. This is a new one. He literally looks at the camera being like, I'm doing pretty good for a broccoli now, yeah. And then this weird wacky music just starts playing for no goddamn reason. And for a reason, we just cut to nighttime. We have the big, hefty, redneck guy just running around in the woods at nighttime. He slips and falls on something. I don't know what. Anyways, then there's a bunch of pig sounds and squealing and honking and other sounds. And I have no idea why. I guess it's just comedic humor for them at the point in time because, he's a fatter character in the movie. So they might as well do the pig sounds and the cow sounds for the sake of it. And each one of them has a different code name for like KFC, and he's going to meet up with Crispy Style and something else. I don't know. It's stupid. And then we see Eoj and Hidley out at a spot for coffee that just says Eat at Joe's, and then there's just them sitting at a random table, and it's just a spotlight on them, and that's it. There's nothing else in this scene. Nothing at all. And Hidley's just like, so Eoj, doesn't you remember her at all? And he just spits his coffee out, being like, I don't know, that's yours? And the whole time sitting down at this restaurant, she's complaining about Waldo, because she really wants to be Waldo's friend, but he's an asshole. And apparently he tries to make some moves on her, I guess. And when she says no, he gets all weirded out about it. And I guess there's a little bit of tension between the two of them. But you never would really tell because he just seems like the weird guy. And Waldo's like, apparently this great photographer, and that's why she keeps him because, she wants to do so much great work with him. So then we see Sonny and the Mafia people in their car. They're driving. They've been driving all night. And Sonny's like, we wouldn't be driving all night if somebody didn't take a wrong turn a while ago. But anyways, the whole reason why I'm bringing up this scene is while they're all sitting in the car is shaking so damn much because it's on one of those old school, like, motion devices that made the car just looks like it's going off-roading the whole damn time, even though they're driving down a paved road that's probably straight if they were driving down a road, because they're not really driving down a road, they're just on a hydraulic machine of some sort. I don't know the proper term because I don't do movies, but you probably know what I'm getting at. It just looks so stupid and silly. So then we see the redneck who's playing Colonel Sanders. He's getting it on the couch with his girlfriend, and they start railing in, and he's like, I gotta get that. She's like, no, you give me one more second. The whole time she's doing her nails while they're doing it, but then he gets over to the radio to talk to them about what's going on, and the dad is sitting in the rocking chair the whole time right beside the couch where they were just doing it on the couch. But I guess the rednecks, because that's okay, rednecks do that. I'm going to get some hate for that comment right there, but that's okay because I'm looking for anything enjoyment out of this movie that's comedic or whatnot, because I'm not finding a damn thing here. Anyways, we cut back to Sonny and Carbine and the mafia people driving the car. Anyways, the nerdy mafia guy that reads the comic books, every time the car leans one way, he smashes his head off the side of the car, and I guess that's for more comedic purposes, because that's how much this car is shaking from left to right. So then we see Hildy, Eoj meeting up with this other girl, and apparently this girl has some standards. Eoj has to hum for her so that she'll take off her clothes. Eoj is also wearing what looks to be a hockey helmet the whole damn time. Anyways, doorbell goes off or somebody knocks the door, so Hildy goes to answer it, and it's the redneck people outside the door. And Hildy's like, Eoj, you got some friends here that want to talk to you about something. And then the girl's just like, what are you guys doing in my head? That's literally how she says it. I'm acting as good as she's acting because her acting is goddamn awful in this movie. Anyways, we see the big redneck guy who's all excited because the girl that Eoj was getting with has very nice hooters. And the main redneck guy's like, we gotta tie him up. We're gonna take him away. And the big guy's like, we taking the girl with the nice hooters? And then Hildy's like, I got hooters too. And the guy's like, next to her, yours are nothing. And then the two rednecks that want to tie up the girl with the nice hooters have a drawing contest to see who the lady's gonna pick, because the lady picks what drawing she likes most. And the big guy's name's Sammy apparently, and she picks him, and he's all excited because he gets to tie her up from the front and stare at her boobs the whole time. Then Waldo walks in with some Burger King, being like, hey, I got some food in case we're up all night. And then the rednecks are just pointing the gun at him. He's like, yes, I knew this was the wrong house. It's the blue one down the street. I'll just be going now. As we see Eoj and Hildy getting put it back in the back of a Dodge Ram truck with the redneck people, because they're taking them back to the redneck's home. And that's when Sonny and his gang are like, look, there's the alien guy. We'll go follow him. Anyways, they bring Eoj and Hildy and the random chick back to the redneck home, and the Amish guy's like, oh, look at the titties. This is the comedy that we're dealing with. I'm glad this movie's almost over. So then the rednecks are confronting Eoj. He's like, did you sleep with my wife? And he's like, yeah, actually I did, because she's got this little rose tattoo on her butt. That's how I can prove it to you. And then all the other rednecks guys are like, yeah, I thought it was a bunny rabbit. Oh yeah, I saw that tattoo. And then the one redneck guy's like, how do you guys know what tattoo my old lady has on her butt? Because she's a whore, that's why. So then the blonde girl that they kidnapped with Eoj, she's like, hey, guys, can I finish my experiment with Eoj? And the big guy's like, you got to play with the hooters? And then he passes out or dies on the floor, one of the two. And then Sonny and the mafia guys jump in and like, look, one done. And then he's like, mamma mia, look at the boobies. So then we cut to the mafia guys talking to Eoj, and he's like, I want you to work with us. And he's like, why do you want me to work with you guys? He's like, well, is it true that you can change into anything you want? He's like, well, yeah, I can. And then Eoj thinks that Sonny is a real celebrity. He's like, can you sign it to me? Like, can you sign it to Sonny, the real ET? Like, can you sign anything for me because you're a celebrity? And he doesn't really understand that Sonny's a mafia guy. So Eoj agrees to do some crime work with Sonny, and Hildy's like, Eoj, you know what you're setting yourself up for? You know, it's trouble. You're not supposed to be doing that. And he looks to her and gives her the biggest wink ever. And they're like, wow, I didn't think it would be that easy for me, Sonny, to get you to work with me, Eoj. He's like, well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, let's go pick a bank to go rob. So now that Hildy's free, she goes back to untie Waldo, or at least take the gag out of his mouth, because he's tied up and gagged. I didn't mention that earlier because I didn't care. Anyway, so he starts complaining again. I thought these mafia guys, or the redneck guys, were going to kill me. And you know how long I've been sitting here and you just let me tied up? So then she re-gags him because she's like, I'm tired of dealing with you, Waldo. And then while they're back in the same house that Eosh was doing stuff in earlier, we have the redneck family showing up with their guns, and we have the mafia family showing up at the same time. And then they both go to knock on the door at the same time. They're like shocked, me like, "Hey, it's you!" And then Waldo opens up the door, and he's like, "Ah, crap, it's them." So then Waldo runs through them and starts hiding behind his car as they're all shooting at him. And then Hildy's inside the house being like, I wonder what that sound is. She looks outside and is like, oh, yeah, look, they're shooting at Waldo outside. Now I'm apparently figuring out for the first time, apparently the girl that Eosh has been trying to get with is Dr. Pepper. You know, Dr. Pepper seems really stupid now. You know, when she was on the TV show, she seemed like she was intelligent. And Hildy's like, Eosh, can we go save Waldo because he's getting shot at? And he's like, so you want me to save Waldo instead of having my way with these boulders? What about the boulders? So Eosh gets into his battle gear, and he has, he's got a belt with some bananas hanging on it, and he's got an ironing board on his back. And I, honestly don't know why, but now he starts throwing bananas and peeling them and throwing them at the mafia guys, and they start slipping on the banana peels because he's using them as like slippery grenades somehow. Eosh passes Waldo about and he gets all excited and does a baseball spin. And then he comes up behind one of the rednecks, takes his hat off and bumps him on the head with a baseball bat. And the guy just passes out. And then we see this random guy walking with a food stand. And he's selling some pies. And then one of the mafia guys' carbine's like, hey, boss, you want a pie? There's a guy who's walking down the road that's selling some pies. And then Sonny turns his gun to Eosh to shoot him. And Eosh is doing like the, oh no, don't shoot me expression on his face. But no sound's coming out. And then Waldo jumps behind Sonny to hit him with the baseball bat, but he misses. So then he gets all scared and just taps him on the back of the head. And Sonny gets knocked out as well. And this movie is not by any means comedic. It's just dumb. So then we have Eosh buying some pies just so he can throw them in the face of Sonny while he's laying on the ground. And then this news reporter guy starts walking over to talk to another redneck guy. He's like, so how's it going? He's like, not too good actually, to be honest with you. You know, first the girl with the hooter shoots at me and makes me dance like Elvis. And then the nerdy guy knocks me out with the baseball bat. So then we see Sonny crawling to get away. And of course he crawls right over to where everyone's standing. He's like, oh, please, not the croquet mallet paddle thing, please. So then they smash him with it anyways, and then everyone just starts cheering. And then there's a lemonade stand. There's also, I forgot to mention, there's a guy selling peanuts and blow-up dolls, and Waldo wants to buy 2 of them, and we know why. So then we see Hildy and Eosh sitting down together, and Eosh is like, you know, I gotta get going. She's like, do you really have to? She's like, oh yeah, I gotta get back to my planet. Do you want to walk me? She's like, you want me to walk you all the way to your planet? She's like, no, this is where I landed. I gotta go to the exact same spot where I landed. That way I can get picked up, or they'll never know where to pick me up at. And Eosh is like, so here's my business card. I'm a dentist on my planet. I do a lot of root canals, kind of funny enough. Once the book's done though, can you kind of send it to me at this address? You know, I know it's in space and all, but you know, I would like to see the book at least once it's done. Then Eosh is like, so can you stand back? I actually have to change back into my usual form. That way I can get back to my planet. So then we just see water dripping off of his face, and then he changes back into broccoli, and Hildy's all excited about it, being like, oh, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. So we see him take off, and then we see someone come back in the exact same suit, but as the Elvis personality this time. And we see the rednecks in the woods again, and Elvis walks by, and then we have the same scene pretty much repeating, where the rednecks are now chasing the Elvis guy through the woods. And the movie ends with like the alien running across this bridge as Hildy's walking underneath it, and the rednecks are chasing after him back and forth. It's stupid. It doesn't matter. I'm glad this movie is over with, to be honest with you. This one was a real drag, and I hate to be so negative on movies. I know I always like to try and look for the most... I like to look for something at least enjoyable, because I know a lot of time, a lot of effort go into a lot of these movies. But I have to say, this is the first movie I'm ever hitting the dislike button on for Tubi. I have not done that for any movie at all that I've watched on Tubi. And for the rating scale, out of 10, I'm giving this one a solid 1. I've contemplated on giving it a 0.5, but I won't be that much of an asshole. This movie, I think you can pass on at all costs, because this one was not fun. It sounds like it's going to be fun, but there's really no story, nothing to it. It's just him shacking up with a bunch of different ladies, and that's it. Nothing else to it. You got the rednecks chasing them, and you got a little bit of the mafia. I like the mafia side characters because, I don't know, I just like mafia, so I thought they were just funny. Stupid funny, but nonetheless. Yeah, I'm giving this one a solid 1, and I'm never going to watch this movie ever again. Which brings us to what we're going to watch next week. We're going to jump to a movie that I know I've seen before. It's probably not that great from what I remember, but it's still going to be a lot better than this, and it's going to be a fun one. We're going to watch Leprechaun in Space, because why not? I need something that's stupid and fun. Aside from this, it's on Tubi as well, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I think it's Leprechaun 4, right? I think it's Leprechaun 4. I'm pulling that one out of their hat randomly. I just don't care. I want to watch Warwick Davis as a leprechaun for an hour and 40 minutes probably. So yeah, it's Leprechaun 4. Leprechaun 4 in Space with Warwick Davis, of course, from 1996. It's an hour and 36 minutes, so I was off by a few minutes. But it's a horror sci-fi comedy. And you can watch it as well on Tubi. So if you want to watch it ahead of time, feel free to go check it out. I like the Leprechaun movies. I know they're not great, but I like them nonetheless. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And hopefully you enjoy it more than this week's episode. And hopefully you guys come back next week, please come back. But as always, make sure to check out the outro band, Trial Based Horror Band, Blood Opera. All their links are down below, but find them on Spotify or Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your music. And as always, check out all my social media links at Typhonstein. The links are all down below in the description. We've got the Facebook page, we have the Instagram page, we have the Threads page, TikTok, we have Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But the main thing we have is that YouTube channel. Definitely go check out the YouTube channel. We have weekly game review that drops every single Wednesday.
Old episodes of the podcast go up every single Monday. We have various short videos as well as live streams. We've been live streaming a lot of video game stuff. We're going to be live streaming some artwork. So there's a ton of free content over there. Hours upon hours of free content. So definitely go check out the YouTube channel. And I will talk to you guys all later. Peace!